Had a few days to rest our players' bodies to focus on the Old Dominion and get on the road recruiting last Thursday and Friday. Looking back at the Coastal game, it's our job as a coaching staff to put our team in the best position to win football games, and we came up a little bit short. Thought our players gave great effort, made some really good plays, but ultimately we had to eliminate the explosive plays on defense and turnovers on offense. And that's something we address every single day in practice. But our goal this week is to be 1-0. All our focus is on Old Dominion. They're a very tough football team. Coach has done a great job there with their program. And it's going to be another challenging road trip versus another Sunbelt East opponent Saturday at 7 p.m.
David Ware, 24/7 Sports. Sean, can you give us kind of a post-game health update? Obviously, we know Nate Noel had a lower body deal that was going on. Anything else that you can update us on as well?
No, Nate was really the only injury we have. He was back at practice on Sunday. He's been evaluated on a daily basis. We hope to have more answers back by Wednesday. And then Miller Gibbs, he is back for this week's game versus Old Dominion. And then Ronald Clark went out early just for a brief moment with a cramp, but other than that, we come out pretty clean.
In thinking back to the game this week, you guys started out the season early in the year. You were in the top 10 of FBS and pass defense, and some very specific things you were doing against Drake May and some things that were successful. Obviously, some explosive plays over the past couple of games. What are you guys diagnosing as you're going back and looking at film of here's the difference in what's been happening lately maybe versus what was happening earlier in the season?
No, that's a very challenging position back there in the back end. Coach Sloan does a great job with his safeties and corners, but things change when shifts and motions happen, and we have to be able to communicate better. Then you look at the one touchdown there, we're in a cover 2 look, and our safety came down and played the run. We have to do a better job as a coaching staff getting that coached up. And then on the other play with Amari, it was a great throw, great catch. And again, we have to challenge those footballs. But again, I think we have a very good football team. Those guys have accepted the challenge. This week we face a very good Old Dominion offense. You look at they're very explosive there on offense. You look at the Marshall game. We had 3 or 4 runs over 60 yards, and then they're going to throw the ball deep, and they're going to take their shots, take their chances, and when they do, they've been very successful.
Flipping to the offensive side of the ball, that felt like a really clean game from Joey Aguilar. Really read his pressure well, made good decisions, no turnovers in the game. As you guys went back and watched the film on him, how did you kind of grade his performance?
Well, that was the best game Joey's played up to this point. I thought he had great plays in there with some. He got a little bit of pressure at times, and again, I thought he played his best football game. He made some challenging throws that were tight windows. That he made those throws, but again, he's getting better week in and week out. He's improving his game and the understanding of the offense, and we expect him to have a great game this Saturday.
You mentioned ODU and some of what they do offensively. Certainly, very early in the season, they were really relying on the passing game for touchdowns. I think that was maybe 6 or 7 of their first 8 touchdowns. But then they had the huge running day against Marshall. As you guys have tried to go in and maybe identify what they are offensively, what's the persona you've kind of assigned to them?
Well, what they do in offense, they try to spread you out, get wide splits at the wide receiver position, and try to lighten the box. And if you're only going to put 5 guys in there to defend the run, they're going to run the football. And they've got 2 great running backs. I think their offensive line has improved from week 1 to now. And then the quarterback's also a running threat. So we have to do a great job of mixing up in the back end, bring a safety down, help us a little bit in the run game, and then we have to do very, very well on the outside of covering the receivers man-to-man.
Flipping to their defense, obviously Henderson's kind of the headline name. He makes a ton of tackles, but you also understand that for him to have the ability to make those kinds of plays, there have to be guys doing things successfully around him. What does the defense do around Henderson that is allowing him to be so active at the line of scrimmage?
I think first and foremost, they play a lot of guys on the defensive front. They play 7 to 9 guys on the defensive line, and they try to cover up your offensive linemen to make sure Henderson has a free reign to get downhill and make plays. And then it's kind of a unique defense with their safety position, or a rover. That's an extra safety back there that he's fitting in the run game also. So Again, he all starts up front with our defensive line, but again, they have a great linebacking core, and with Henderson, he's going to make plays, and we have to try to slow him down a little bit, but he's such a good player, he's going to make plays.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.